Welcome to CMO Weekly, the show where we sit down with the world's top marketing leaders to uncover the bold moves, tough lessons, and breakthrough ideas that have shaped their journey. Every episode, we go beyond the headlines to explore what it really takes to build brands, lead teams, and stay ahead in a fast-changing industry. I'm Hayley Clover, and this is CMO Weekly. This episode is brought to you by OpenFortune. OpenFortune is the only marketing company putting your brand inside of actual fortune cookies. Yeah, those cookies that you crack open after dinner, they're now prime real estate for your brand message. OpenFortune distributes millions of branded fortunes every month through thousands of restaurants nationwide, giving brands a moment of surprise and attention that no banner ad can match. You want to reach people when they're smiling, totally engaged, and ready to share something fun? Head to openfortune.com to learn more. Okay, I am super excited to welcome Matthew Kellie. He is the Senior Vice President of Marketing at Sandbox VR, which you all know and have probably heard my co-host Carlo Palomino is obsessed with. But Matthew is leading global marketing strategy for one of the premier location-based virtual reality entertainment platforms. With a background that includes serving as the CMO at Brilliant.org and experience in growth and brand leadership, Matthew brings a mix of tech-minded marketing and immersive experience vision. At Sandbox VR, he steers how to tell stories about VR that drive footfall, retention, and brand resonance. And we are so excited to talk to him about all things Sandbox because we just all experienced it as a team. Matthew, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here. And Carlo, I have to tell you this little known fact you might not have known about me. I actually have a tattoo of a fortune cookie right here. So, serendipitous that we're here today. It had to happen.
You've just blown my mind. Did we just become best friends?
I think we did. What's your favorite dinosaur? Lay it on me.
Wait. Can we start there? Yeah.
I have this tattoo of a bunch of stories that my grandfather used to tell me. And one of the stories is when he was a Marine in World War II, he was stationed in China. And they used to go around to these restaurants after the war and tell the owners that they were inspectors for the Navy. And if they didn't, approve their restaurant, that none of the Marines would eat there. Of course, he was just a private. He was conning people out of a free meal. But I always thought it was a pretty funny story.
That's awesome.
That's amazing and totally not where I would have guessed or expected that story.
That's not what I expected, but that's really cool. Badass.
That's so cool. Well, Matthew, welcome to the show. Like I said, we're super excited to chat. We want to learn all things you, your career, how you even found yourself at Sandbox VR. So we'll start there, and then we're going to dive into all things virtual reality.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I actually started my career as a French chef and spent about 10 years in the hospitality industry. And so
Cool.
After that, kind of went into finance and then made my way into digital marketing, cut my teeth over at Supercell Games very early on, back in 2012, helped launch Clash of Clans, did about 6 years there. Then headed over to Robinhood for a little bit through their hypergrowth cycle pre-IPO. And really, kind of found myself at a number of companies after that. But I've always been attracted to, the kind of consumer experience, big, bold consumer companies. And so, when I started chatting with Sandbox, it was, really this opportunity of, okay, well, finally, there's this like physical retail space rooted in hospitality, which I love and have a background in, combined with digital marketing. And so, it just struck me as an opportunity to really bring the two things together and see what we can do with it.
That's super cool. That is a really great way to kind of merge all of your experience into one. And like you said, it is an important factor of the VR world as obviously everybody starts to see all sorts of glasses and goggles and things that you can buy and use at your home. There's a totally different experience around being able to actually go into a physical location and have a social experience with your friends while being in this crazy cool VR world. So I couldn't agree more. And I was telling Matthew off camera and before we hit record that the OpenFortune team just went and tried Sandbox VR together for the first time for most of us. And I thought it was so cool. And especially, I don't know, maybe this is a misconception, but as a woman and maybe somebody that wasn't gaming as much before, it's definitely something that you could get into or get hooked on because it's so much more fun when you feel like you're there. So the experience was awesome.
I'm excited to hear that. Who is the MVP?
Not me.
I mean, I always get the upgrades, Matthew. I'm no fool. Okay, I got the ice blaster. I was good to go.
Yeah, Carlo has to pay to be better at shooting zombies. than me.
Accurate. I'll do it.
Yes. So, Matthew, let's talk a little bit about Sandbox in general for maybe the folks that don't know what it is. Can you first kind of give us the quick elevator pitch of what Sandbox VR is, and then we'll dive into exactly kind of how you're talking to consumers and getting people into the actual physical locations?
Yeah, Sandbox VR, it's this incredible immersive location-based entertainment experience. So you walk into one of our stores, you book an experience. We've got about 9 different experiences right now. Everything from we can put you into being a pirate, we can put you into a Squid Game. We can put you in the zombie apocalypse. You strap on a headset, we put on a haptic feedback vest, we put on motion trackers on your wrists, on your ankles, and you're in the game. It's incredible. You really feel like you're in this world. The graphics fidelity on some of our headsets is just absolutely extraordinary, just much better than what you're going to get at home because of some of our proprietary tech stack. And you're in it, and you feel like you're in the experience. We introduce things like wind in the room too. So, if you fall, you feel this gust of wind, and it's pretty incredible how real it feels. You really, really don't know till you try it.
No, it's so true. And you have headphones on so that you're really immersed in not only being able to not hear the actual room that you're in, you're hearing only what's in the game, but you're also being able to communicate with your coworkers or your friends or whoever you're with that's on your team while you're in this immersive experience. So you just completely forget about the outside world when you're in there.
Indeed.
It's cool. So talk to me a little bit about, obviously, this kind of shift from just a digital world and digital experiences to these actual physical experiences with VR. I have to imagine that marketing that is fairly tricky. And so can you talk to me a little bit about maybe some of those initial challenges that you had even when you first came to the company?
Yeah. I think, to kind of level set, I think it's really about kind of starting with merging two worlds, right? It's the digital storytelling aspect and then, kind of the real world hospitality that you really have to bring together, right? And so, the digital aspect has its own challenges with attribution, tech stack setup, creative, et cetera, et cetera. And then when you put the physical piece together, you're really constrained by time and place more than anything, right? Or at least consumers are. I think it starts at how we tell the story. And I think most of our customers, they don't really come to Sandbox just to play a game, right? Or try VR. I think the ones that are interested in it, they come to fulfill a fantasy, frankly, and be a part of, a different world that they otherwise couldn't step into in any other way. So, I think our marketing really has to sell both, right? It's got to kind of show this cinematic experience that you're going to get. But it also has to really have the social energy of an epic night out, right? Because people come here for a great time and they come with friends.
Right.
We really try and bridge those two things together. Great storytelling with kind of the local activation piece.
Yep. Makes a lot of sense. So talk to me a little bit about how you're actually doing that. What are those specific ways in which you are reaching folks to be able to tell that story?
Yeah, I think, a lot of it is through influencer ads, social commentary. The root of our product is really, it's social, right? The people you want to go to Sandbox with they're your best friends, they're your family, they're your coworkers, right? They're the people who are in your life. And so, we try and showcase the story itself through similar mediums. Influencers tell that story. We pull content when you're in the experience. You get this cool little video after the fact that shows you what you did in there and how your team performed. And so that also makes fantastic social content, great social ads. And that's, the primary advertising means through which we reach our customers today. Obviously, we augment the media mix with a bit more than that. But it's really that combined with word of mouth.
Yeah, no, that's good to know. I wonder, has there been talk or, have you figured out ways in which you can try and bring this experience to more of an experiential marketing where, obviously once people come in, they're kind of sold when you actually do the experience because it's so much fun. But how do we take that feeling and that experience to the masses before to actually get them into the building? Has there been any talk around how to do that?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a tough one for us right now from a tech perspective, right? There's a number of different systems that kind of have to vertically integrate for us to deliver the experience. That means that it's possible. It's just not necessarily scalable for us right now to bring it out. something we are definitely working on, though, and we get an extraordinary amount of inbound interest, right, to bring Sandbox VRs to specific times and places. It just
like
requires
parties and things like that. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, it just it's one of those things that just requires some conditional setup around it, primarily being indoors in an air conditioned environment, and then the ability to just kind of be able to set our equipment up with enough lead time. And so we're working on ways we can reduce that cost and bring it out to more places. But right now, we generally prefer to bring people into the store where possible.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. But even talking like just specifically around the marketing aspect of that, so not even like getting the actual VR abilities to, like private residences or things like that. Can you take the actual headset out to get people on the streets to experience it, to get them to those locations? Because I mean, yeah, if somebody had put that on my head while I was out kind of walking around, I would have been like, oh, I have to go try this. This thing is crazy.
Yeah, we've done a little bit of that, right? It's a tough one for us because we really want to show the whole experience, right, and everything that goes into it, and that really requires kind of all the gear, which doesn't necessarily translate in the physical world well. What we have done in the past, though, is take a headset that's attached to like a TV and kind of walk around and let people see it, right, and then you kind of see what's on the TV strapped on somebody's back. It creates social content. Doesn't necessarily scale from a marketing standpoint in the action itself, but the social content can be kind of interesting. Again, it's a fine line, though, because so much of the experience itself is about driving that immersion, right, that you really described, and just dropping you into that place. And so it does kind of require the full breadth of motion tracking, the haptic feedback, the sound, the headset, the ability to stream that from our Blade servers into the headset too. So it's far more technically complex than I think people would assume on the surface for us to deliver that experience. And so that's just kind of one of the limitations with the tech today.
This isn't an Oculus.
No, I totally get it. And it actually is. Right. You're right. It's totally not. And I think that maybe is something that I kind of expected when I went in, was that I was wearing just the headset. But you're right. I mean, I had the vest, I had the motion sensors on my wrists and my ankles. And then you have an entire, I don't know if you would call them an avatar, but your body and you are in the actual experience, and you can see your arms and you can see your legs and you could high five your, friend that's also in the experience. So I get it. And I could see, where just taking out a headset or something like that wouldn't do the actual experience justice.
Okay. So wait, that's actually a really good point. You won't do it justice in that way. So don't even go in that direction. What are you doing right now? Because I read about you guys the first time maybe 3 years ago in Entrepreneur, right? More from like a business oriented publication, obviously still a consumer myself. And I'm like, this looks incredible. I got to try this. And I was lucky enough that there was a location within 30 minutes from my home. How are you reaching the masses right now to let them know, like, this experience is incredible? And personally, I want everyone to know about it. Trust me, I'm your biggest advocate. But how are you doing that now to ensure? I haven't seen you guys elsewhere in any capacity, digital, social, out of home, TV, radio. How are you doing that right now?
Yeah. A couple of great points. I think there's probably two things to bifurcate there. On the tech side, you're right. It's not a MetaQuest, right? And it's a great product for home, but it's not the
Correct.
same. I mean, we're on NVIDIA Blade servers. We're streaming over the air into like top tier hardware, right? That frankly, cost prohibitive to have at home. And
Correct.
So the level of fidelity and graphics and everything else is just it's just another generation, right? It's so far advanced that, I think the important thing to remember is most people, I think when they think of VR, they think the default and what they've experienced before, right? Maybe they tried a MetaQuest at the beginning of the pandemic, or, had other experiences with different headsets. And so, it's just, we have to get over that hurdle a little bit too, right? That this is very, very different, that it's another level. And I think, to address your point, Carlo, is also like, the awareness piece, right? And it is a transitional moment for the business. I think we work with great IP partners. We've now done a handful of projects with Netflix. We've done Rebel Moon. We've done Squid Games. We've announced a Stranger Things game coming shortly that folks can play, which we're very excited about. But, I think we're one of those tech companies, right, that was kind of founded during the ZERP era. And so, I think you get kind of locked into this economic model that is, 3-to-1 LTV to CAC. And you get into this kind of performance marketing digital mindset that's really driven by, the investment tranches, right? You want to go out and raise another round? Well, you've got to explain to a VC how their cash is going to produce in compound growth. And that often translates into full stack performance marketing. And so that leads a lot of brands down, a path of digital. I think for us, the funnel is a little bit longer, right? And I often hear, exactly what you said, Carla, when I talk to people. It's like, I didn't even know about this. It's, it's in my backyard. I didn't even know you guys were here. And so it's, it's pretty clear we have more awareness that we need to work on. And so we're starting to explore that, right? And in a variety of ways. I think entertaining social content is, the bread and butter there for us, but also getting on TV, out of home. I think even localized out of home, right, is a huge one for us. Like wrapping our stores, right? If you're at the mall, you walk by, you see something cool, you're going to go check it out, right? So, that drives an amazing amount of foot traffic and conversion for us. So it really is this kind of layered approach that we're starting to migrate into as a brand more and more.
That's personally exactly where my head went to. Like for you guys, a localized out of home approach from an awareness standpoint, at least, will absolutely crush, right? Cool. Very, very, very good. Thanks.
So once you get those folks in the door, obviously they love it. You don't necessarily have this problem with Carlo. He's been back 100 times and will continue to go back. But I do think
a loyalty punch out card, Hayley. Like frozen yogurt, but VR.
And VR visits, you get an upgrade to your ice blaster. I have to imagine that in some ways, immersive experiences can feel like a premium or a niche experience for some people. And so you have those folks that are doing this as a one-time type of thing. How do you kind of combat that, storytelling, saying we have all of these different experiences. It's not going to be the same every single time. That's why you have to come back. Yeah,
absolutely. It's such a great question. I mean, yeah, it is. You get a lot of people who just want to check out the novelty of it. Mm-hmm. It is kind of a new medium, right? Like people haven't necessarily done anything like this. They haven't seen a lot of these businesses before. And so, what is this? Let's go check it out. I think we do have a number of experiences, as you mentioned, but to get at the heart of your question, I think it's really about the variety of customer use cases for us, right? So, we get a ton of business that comes in from birthday parties, graduation events, corporate events, team building, date nights, families that come play together. And so, there really is this like variety of customers that come in for different reasons. But I'll tell you, one of my favorite customer use cases is, and I hear this all the time, is parents who are trying to connect with their teenage kids, right? Like, kids cross that threshold to about 13, 14 years old, and mom and dad, you're not so cool anymore, right? Like, I don't necessarily want to hang out with you. But the moment mom or dad say, hey, you want to go to Sandbox? Like, kids are all of a sudden, oh, yeah, that sounds good. I'll go there with you. You're paying? Yeah, let's go do that, right? And so, I can tell you as a parent, as a dad, if I have a button that says hang out with dad today, I'm going to push it every day, right? Every opportunity I can. And so, kind of what I'm getting at is I think it really is this form of true social gaming in some ways, right? Like, you play on Xbox, you play on PlayStation at home, you're playing with other people, but not necessarily in the same room. You play mobile games with your friends, right? Like it came from Supercell, Clash of Clans. You're in a clan with all your friends. It's great, but you're not playing with them. And this is something you're actually doing together. And so a really interesting thing happens given the kind of like adrenaline nature of our experiences. You're with the people that you love, your friends and family. You're in this high pressure challenge, like a zombie apocalypse, right? And so what I think kind of forms are these really unique synapses and bonds, right? Between people of like, oh, wow, we were in that challenge together and we did it. That like ultimate high five moment, which feels great. And you kind of want to come back and get more of that. And so what we try and lean into is identifying those moments, right? Within the customer journey, the use cases. And then my job is really to just remove as many barriers as possible. Now, the biggest barrier that we found, obviously, no surprise here, is price. You got to buy a ticket, right? And so, if every time you got to buy a ticket, our average price is about $50, you come with a family of 4, that can get a little expensive over time. So what we started exploring, and this should be music to your ears, Carlo.
Uh-oh, you can become a member, Carlo?
Exactly.
Woo!
We ran a pilot program with some of these passes where, you can come in and play as many times as you want for a flat fee. Extraordinary success. People absolutely loved it. So we're figuring out how we can operationalize that now and build it more into the model. But
Is this Paramus, New Jersey, Matthew?
Understood.
Okay.
I think that's so smart. I think that all makes so much sense. And we had a very similar bonding experience where I did absolutely high five Carlo, our coworker Yoni, and we felt like, oh my God, we killed those zombies. I mean, even when you're in there and they're falling from the ceiling or they, scare you right in front of your face and you didn't expect them to be there. I mean, you can hear your adult male coworker screaming and it's hysterical. Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. So you're completely right. There is this bonding experience that happens. And I really think a membership is gonna do extremely well to be able to just get people coming back for more.
Yeah, we're excited about it. And I think especially at this moment in time, right? Like post COVID, you're just seeing such a desire, I think, for social activities together. And then also, just changing trends too. Like not everything has to be about watching a football game or going to the bar and throwing a few back, right? Like people just want diversity in how we hang out today, right? And so, we want to fill that void. And I think we have the ability to have that repeatability or that kind of, social gravitas, if you will, hey, what are we going to do for, Thursdays after work as a team, right? Like that doesn't involve just, having a bunch of drinks and going home and feeling like crap and, dragging on a Friday. Let's do something that picks us up. So.
I love that. Yeah. Not everything as an adult has to be about alcohol.
Yes, please. Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about, obviously you're in a bunch of different locations. How do you all go about deciding where you're going to, open a new sandbox or bring this experience to somebody? Is there a strong strategy behind that?
Yeah, there really is. I mean, a lot of it's, kind of demographic based. We're on a franchise model now too, which is actually really exciting for the business. It's really enabled a ton of growth for us, right? I think today, and forgive me on this, I got to look up the number a little bit because we're growing fast enough that it changes.
Oh, that's great.
We've got about 65 stores today, but I think by the end of the year, we're going to be over 80. So we are moving that quickly and opening some of these stores. And so it's really about population density. It's about, are we in a place that has high foot traffic, right? I think we see a ton of demand from malls too, right? That, are losing anchor stores. Great example of this, our flagship location in downtown San Francisco. It's on 4th and Mission. Used to be a big box retailer, right? Used to be a department store. And when they vacated, as a lot of the malls in downtown San Francisco collapsed, we came in. And we've been able to, provide staying power for centers. We've been able to drive foot traffic. We've become kind of a tentpole attraction within there. So, we look for opportunities where we can draw people out, and it's also beneficial for the centers and, also what's going to be great for our franchisees.
Yeah, that's awesome. When we were looking at deciding what game we were going to play, we were kind of going through the Rolodex of all of your games. I wonder, is there a specific game, fantasy, movie or TV show that you would personally love to see on Sandbox or bring to the Sandbox experience?
Well, I'm very excited about the one we have coming up with Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I think that's going to just be absolutely extraordinary. People are going to love it. It's something we've never done before. It's just absolutely incredible. But for me personally, and I think this is such a great question, I think the operative word is the fantasy, right? And so, what is that for most people? I think for me, I love the kind of, can you make it out on the other side of the zombie apocalypse? Can you, accomplish the mission? That combination of kind of adrenaline and high stakes decision making. So for me, I've kind of been circling this idea of like, what would it be if there was a heist? Can you figure out? Can you steal the art? Can you, rob the bank?
It's so fun.
Have you thought through all the angles, right? And what does that look like? So that's, for me, I'd love to bring something like that.
And Ocean's 11. Yes. So good.
Right?
Yes,
It'd be a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of people who look at things like that and say, hey, I could do that if I really wanted to. And I'd, kind of like to help you find out.
What's the movie with Nicolas Cage where he steals the Declaration of Independence?
Oh, gosh.
National Treasure.
National Treasure. They're going to possibly make another one. Maybe there's a partnership there somewhere where you can help steal the next whatever they're going to be stealing.
Whatever it takes to work with Nick Cage.
Right? He's having an absolute comeback. Thank God. I love it.
Yes.
That's so funny. I think that would be really, really cool. Truly, any of it would be fun because, like you said, it really is such an experience that you can't get anywhere else where you can truly just transport your body into a new world. So that's cool. Matthew, usually what I love to do at the end of these is a little fast questions round to learn a little bit more about you and just, ask some fun questions. So I'm going to do that now, if that's okay.
All right. Lay it on me.
Okay, cool. And this is just like first thing that pops into your mind.
Wait. Important. There will be a question here where either you make me $100 richer or you make Hayley $100 richer. Okay. You'll know after you answer.
You don't have to tell every guest.
Do the right thing, Matthew. Do the right thing. Okay. Make the right choice. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not going to tell you which one. I'll just throw it in there at some point.
Of course you're not.
Okay. Matthew, if there was a person dead or alive that you'd most like to sit down to dinner with, who would it be and why?
Ooh. Hunter S. Thompson.
Why?
Hunter S. Thompson? He was an author. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. He's the guy behind that. I think he's a forward-looking free spirit for the modern world.
Cool. Love that. What's your favorite city in the world?
I think I got to say Tokyo. I spent a couple years living there and
I'm so jealous. Oh my God. I got to go for the first time last November, and I think people are probably still annoyed with how much I talk about Japan. It's just the coolest place ever.
It really is.
Great answer. Okay. In 30 years, what do you think people will be nostalgic about?
Probably not being integrated with digital devices and robots. Just being fully human.
Okay, good answer. I like it. What's the best advice you've ever been given in your career?
I would say it is, if you are the smartest person in the room, you're probably in the wrong room. Always work for people who are smarter than you.
Love that. Yep. Helps you learn so much faster. Okay. Is it okay to sleep with socks on?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And this is, I actually have a story around this. My partner often sleeps with these big woolly socks that have the little rubber treads on the bottom.
Like hospital socks.
Yeah. And sometimes they come off in the middle of the night and she'll wake up early and go off to a meeting and I'm sleeping. And then one of these woolly, rubbery socks will brush against me. And there was one time I was so dead asleep, I thought it was a mouse in the bed. And I jumped out of the bed. She saw me screaming, looking for this mouse, and it was just one of her socks. So I am very opposed.
Nice work, Matthew. Nice work.
Okay, yeah. Carlo wins.
Again.
Hayley, I'm guessing you're a sock sleeper?
I am, yeah.
She's one of those psychopaths. Her and your wife, I guess.
I am not. I'm not against people sleeping with socks on. Mine do also tend to come off in the middle of the night. But I'm very good about pushing them out of the comforter with my feet while I sleep. Like I have a habit, I guess, of doing that.
I'm proud of you, Hayley. I'm proud of you. It's good. It's important.
But yeah, no, if my feet are cold, I don't want to go to bed with them cold. It's that, or I shove them under my husband and he's always like, oh God, your cold feet. So, but yeah, Carlo wins. It's okay.
I've had that all day. Matthew, I'm so against sleeping with socks on. My son is a sock sleeper and I won't allow it in my house. So I'll sneak into his room at night, and he has one of those loft beds, and I have to climb like the Grinch, and then go in there and sneak his socks off and throw them in the hamper. I refuse. It will not happen here.
Every time he tells me that story, I'm like, that's egregious. You do not have to take his socks off when he's sleeping.
Poor kid. He's going to end up with a complex,
I don't know what complex he's going to come up with. All parents have to give their kids a complex. Mine is something with socks. I don't know what that means in the future.
That's so funny. Okay. Let's see. If your team had to describe your vibe or your energy via a cocktail, what drink would you be and why? And if you don't drink, then you can any drink that you might have, whether it's non-alcoholic or not.
Probably a dirty martini.
Nice.
Yeah.
Classic, but there's a little edge.
Yeah.
With or without blue olives?
Ooh, probably without. Clean. Keep it clean. Just a little salty,
Okay. I like that. Do you have any totally random skills or hobbies that have nothing to do with your job?
Yeah, actually, I'm a car guy, so I work on cars a lot. Has very little to do with my job.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Do you have a favorite car?
There are many favorite cars.
Or a dream car that if you could, you had all the money in the world and you could buy one.
Well, I've got a '69 Camaro SS that I've been working on getting running and drivable at some point, so I can give it to my son. But it's not quite there yet.
That's awesome. That's really cool. What other company outside of Sandbox do you love how they're marketing and how they're storytelling right now that you tend to kind of always go back to and follow?
Yeah, it's probably a little obvious answer as much as, marketers will say it today, but I love Liquid Death. I love what they're doing with the entertaining creative, right? That just has no purpose other than entertaining. And I think, that convergence of kind of social advertising and just entertaining media, I'm excited about that, where it's going and, kind of the direction we're starting to think more about at Sandbox too.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're big fans as well. Okay, last question. What's one thing that your past self, let's say 10 years ago, would be shocked to learn about your life today?
Mm-hmm. I'd say that I live in Orange County. I was a Bay Area guy for a long time, and I'll never move to Southern California. The traffic, the fakeness, the lack of culture, and here I am, and just loving it every single day.
Here you are enjoying perfect weather. God forbid somebody enjoys perfect weather all year round.
The cleanliness, the perfect weather, the ample parking. It's just, it's extraordinary.
I talked to someone yesterday that was like, it's just another boring sunny day in LA. And I'm like, dude, what?
Right.
I'm stuck here in Jersey, New York, where we have the same amount of sunny days as Seattle. And I don't understand how people can be lamenting over that.
I get it. You miss the fall sometimes. You miss the changing of the seasons every once in a while until you realize people are covered, buried in snow. And then you're like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
We'll always find something to complain about out here, no matter what.
That's fair. Well, Matthew, thank you so much for joining us on the CMO Weekly podcast. It was awesome to talk to you and geek out a little bit about Sandbox VR. It was super fun. Yeah, and for those who have never experienced it, first, please go check out their website and all of their socials because you want to watch the content that they're putting out there so that you get excited about going and experience this with your friends, your parents, your family, your loved ones. It truly is a lot of fun. So definitely
for the love of all that's in existence, go to Sandbox VR.
Come check it out. We'd love to have you.
And if you guys like this episode and want to hear more from other amazing marketers, please hit that subscribe button and we will see you next time with another amazing executive. We'll see you soon.